Today, on Be Something Wonderful, let go of non-fulfillment and shift to your dream reality. I am your host, Kearin, and this is the Be Something Wonderful studio of higher consciousness, where we help you level up and become the best version of yourself. Creators, welcome back and good morning here from the studios of Be Something Wonderful in Las Vegas. I have a big video. This is a session with a client that I probably met with about a year ago, and has a very powerful story. This session was her about actually wanting to transition to be a coach. Because I want to be a coach like you. So we talked about that in yesterday's session. But we also talked about that her experience. This idea that at the time, if you remember, I think I did a video or two videos about her story, is that she was at the point of being evicted. No money to pay rent, no job. She was looking for a job, felt really that the conditions were coming down on her, and said, how do I let go and surrender to this? How do I not focus on these conditions? This whole idea. But remember, we talked about this yesterday, and I think we probably talked about it in her session about a year ago. Remember that letting go or surrendering is not a process or technique to make something happen out there. Rather, it's a decision to stop wanting and waiting for reality to change before you can be fulfilled. We're going to talk about this today and more, because really what happened with her? Well, she's thriving, right? Back that she got a job where it felt to her like it was at the last moment. But remember, it was her just deciding, I surrender. I'm going to let go to that higher power. But she believed because she had no choice, right? She said, well, the rent's not going to be paid. If I'm evicted, I'm evicted. But remember, you don't have to go to that extreme. It's just a decision. Remember, letting go and surrendering is not letting go or surrendering of your desire. It's letting go of the belief that you're not fulfilled. The belief that reality and that version of you doesn't already exist. That's what really surrendering, letting go is. It's not a process or technique to make something happen out there. It's the decision to say, I am who I assume and imagine I am. I have what I want. I know that reality exists, and I'm going to allow that to unfold from within me and to have the physical experience no matter what my thoughts and feelings are or the outer appearances. No matter what the appearances are, the inner appearances of thoughts and feelings or the outer appearances of people, events, and circumstances, you stand in that identity because that's your preference. And so we talked about that idea. Well, she's thriving now. And in fact, she got a job, right, that seemed like at the last moment. And the person that she was working with or for was really almost best friends with her landlord or the person that was in charge of either booting her or giving her time. It all worked out, and she's thriving now in her job. Money's not an issue. She feels the abundance. She has a new love in her life. Everything's going for her. Why? Because it's not, we turn everything into a technique, a process to make something happen out there, to manifest something, to improve our life, to fix something. But it's a decision right now, in the now moment, to stop wanting and waiting for reality to get better, stop wanting and waiting for reality to change before you can be fulfilled. Recognize, know, and declare that you are reality, you are fulfillment, you are source. This is what she did. Right? Well, she reached a point where she couldn't do anything about those outer conditions anyway. And remember, you never can do anything out there, right? So you don't have to wait until it feels like there's no other choice. You can make that decision now that I'm source. You can recognize and declare that you're reality, that you're fulfillment no matter what you want. It's a decision to be that identity and version of you that you desire to be, regardless, hear this, of the changing conditions and appearances, no matter how contrary that you judge them to be. That is what moves reality. That is what shapes the 3D appearances and conditions. And that's happening in every moment. So we're going to hit this idea today. Remember, what is it about? If it's not about wanting and waiting, as I've said before, it's about anticipating and expecting. In other words, it's about knowing. That's what anticipation and expectation is. It's a knowing that all you wish and desire is already and always unfolding perfectly in your 3D physical experience, right? Because you say so as source. Because you're already that person you desire to be. Remember, reality doesn't change, it's changeless. You do, right? Your viewpoint changes, your perspective changes, your concept of self changes as all that, seeing a different part or a different portion or a different section or a different view of all that is. That's what we're talking about. It's a decision to let go of that limiting viewpoint and perspective of I am not who I desire to be. Letting go of the false belief that lack and non-fulfillment is possible. That's what we're talking about today. So, letting go, it's not about letting go of your desire. You don't have to give up your desire. It's not about not focusing on your desire. A lot say, well, don't focus on that. It's not about that. And it's not about not wanting your desire. Hear this. So it's not about not focusing on your desire. It's not about not wanting your desire. You can't not want what you want. How can you stop wanting what you want, right? It's a different kind of wanting we're talking about. It's an anticipation and expectation of the physical experience unfolding of what's already yours. Remember, in this case, you're not focused on its absence, but rather its fulfillment. That's what you're giving up. That's what you're letting go of. Your awareness and your focus on the absence of your desire. You can focus on your desire, but focus on the fulfillment of it, not the absence of it, right? You're letting go of the identity and reality that feels separate from it. That's what you're letting go of. That's what you're surrendering, right? That identity that feels separation from what they want, right? It's not about time or a buffer or a delay. I know the teachers talk about this and coaches, right? That's a concession to the idea that linear time is real, but it's just an idea. Remember, there is no buffer, there is no delay, there is no time. It's an experience of knowing yourself as that completely fulfilled and utterly worthy being, infinite being that you are. That's what time is. You shift your perspective, you shift your viewpoint, your vantage point. You see a different part, a different portion, a different view, a different scenery of all that is. And that we experience that as change in movement, in time, in space. Do you see it? That's what that means. So whatever you ask the Father in my name, He will give you. This is from John 16:23. This says it all. I am. In my name, I am. Whatever the Father is source. So whatever you ask your source, in other words, whatever you desire, whatever you want, because that's the asking, right? Your intention, your desire, your wanting of it is the asking. If you ask it in my name, in other words, your I amness, your awareness of being, He will give you. Now look at the word will. It's not talking about the future. This isn't a concession that there's a delay in time or that there's a buffer. It's a guarantee. The modal will, which I've talked about, the modal verb is will, means conviction. It means absolute certainty He will give it to you. Right? Not in the future. When you ask in my name, when you ask your source, right? When you ask and want it from knowing that you are source. Do you see it? It's asking from the knowing that you're already source, that it's already yours. That's what that means. No possibility of non-fulfillment. That's what the modal will means in this case. Whatsoever you want and desire as source is already yours. That's what John 16:23 means. Do you see it? Whatsoever, whatever you want and desire, you ask as source, the Father, is already yours. In my name, the Father in my name means as source. I and the Father are one. But the Father is greater than I. That source is greater than any viewpoint or perspective or focus that you have in the physical experience. but you're not separate from it. So whatever you want, desire as source, whatever you put your awareness on, who and what you're conscious of being as source is already yours. It also says in Joshua 1:3, every place that the sole of your foot will tread upon, I have given you. Look at the verb tense, present perfect, meaning it's already yours. Wherever you walk, whatever you declare, whatever you want and desire as source, right, is already yours. Right? Whatever you ask, whatever you want and desire, whatever, who and what you're conscious of being, as source is yours, as that awareness of being. Wherever your foot treads, I have given you. It's already done. It's already yours. That's the meaning of that. That's powerful today. It's about letting go. So what is it? Letting go of the assumption and belief of separation between your inner reality and your outer physical experience. We put separation there. Right? Believing that we can only, if we can only manifest what we want in meditation. We can only create that reality if we meditate and go into a state akin to sleep, and that's the only time. Remember, you're creating, imagining reality in every moment you're projecting it. Every moment you're creating it, not just in your night dreams, not just in your meditative states, not just in your state akin to sleep. You're creating and assuming it all day long in every moment. That you, I am awareness, are the one and only authority and source on earth and in heaven. On earth, meaning in your physical 3D experience, and in heaven, in your inner authority, your awareness of being. That's what that means. There's no difference between the inner reality and outer reality. They are one. That's why Jesus said in the Gospel of Thomas, ultimate reality is both outside and inside. It's one. You have authority, you have that authority and source on earth, that physical 3D experience, and in heaven, your inner authority, your awareness of being. That's why in Matthew 28:18, it says this, all authority has been given me in heaven and on earth. This is what Jesus said, that Jesus, remember, representing your I am awareness, your awareness of being. All authority has been given me, not some authority, not just authority when I'm meditating, or when I'm in a state akin to sleep, or when I'm imagining my wish fulfilled, or when I'm doing a subliminal at night, or when I'm affirming, or when I'm scripting, but all authority has been given me in heaven and on earth. Not just in 3D, not just in 4D, not just in 5D. It's all one reality. It's ultimate reality. Surrender to that knowing. Let go of doubt, worry, and fear of non-fulfillment. It makes no sense. I am. That's the true meaning of non-attachment. That's the true meaning. All authority has been given to me in heaven and earth. That's the true meaning, that you don't have to be attached to anything, that you're source of it all, that you're the one and only authority of your reality. That's powerful. So, letting go or surrendering is not about accepting conditions and realities, hear this, that you judge as unwanted, undesired, or not preferred. It's not about that. Right? Because you're going to be going, well, how can I do that? Right? It's not, but it's about not judging the conditions or appearances, period. Hear this again. Letting go, surrendering is not about accepting conditions and realities that you judge as unwanted, undesired, and not preferred. How can you accept those? Because you're judging them as unwanted, undesired, not preferred. It's impossible for you to accept those. Right? But what is it about? It's about not judging the conditions or appearances in the first place, period. You don't have the broader view. It's not, like I've always said in many of my videos, it's not that Jesus is saying that you shouldn't judge appearances by appearances. It's that you can't possibly judge them. You don't have the viewpoint. You don't have the perspective in that with your 3D focus. Yes, you're source. Yes, you're one with the Father. But in your 3D focus, in that lower mind focus, in that physical mind focus, you don't have the broader view. The conditions and appearances are always changing. That's what Jesus is trying to say. You can't judge them, and why judge them anyway? Because they're always changing. You're always going to be wrong. Do you see? Because they're always changing anyway. It's about accepting that your experience of reality is always changing. But hear this, but the fulfillment behind it is changeless. That the conditions are always changing into and leading to your desired outcome no matter what. That's what we're talking about there. It's about accepting. That's what a true acceptance and letting go and surrendering is. It's about accepting that your experience of reality is always changing. In other words, the inner conditions of changing thoughts and feelings, the outer conditions or appearances of people, events, and circumstances, all of those appearances, inner or outer, are always changing. They're not reality. Reality doesn't change. It's changeless. It's your experience that's always changing of reality, right? So behind that is changeless. The conditions are always changing and leading, though, to your outcome no matter what. They must be, because you're source. You wouldn't have it any other way, right? So this is powerful, right? And it's not about only being content with living in your imagination. This came up with a client session, I think, yesterday. No one's telling you to only be content living in 4D. It's not about that. We're saying 3D, 4D, 5D, it's all one reality. That's what we're saying. One reality of absolute, utter fulfillment that you see, perceive, manifest, and experience from infinite viewpoints, infinite perspectives, and infinite vantage points. It's all fulfillment because fulfillment is all there is, or all that is. Right? Remember, it's about the who, and the who is you. Conditions are conditions, but I am. That famous client that said that, what does it mean? It means that conditions and appearances are changing in every moment, but I am fulfilled no matter what. That's power. That's power. And by the way, I had a session with that client yesterday. That's why this came up again. And he's thriving. I mean, thriving, right? Conditions are conditions, but I am means that conditions and appearances are changing in every moment. But I'm fulfilled no matter what. That's power, right? The greater reality, the deeper essence and awareness behind all appearances is you. You're the who. All right? The who is you. You're that greater reality. So it's about letting go of the assumption that what is, or the present moment, should be different than it is. That somehow God, or all that is not good enough. Somehow God's not good enough. All that is not good enough. It has to be different. Because that's what all that is. That's what the present moment is. That somehow being and having everything is not enough for you. That's what you're saying. As you sit there and judge and complain about your life or your reality or others, right? Bashar's mantra, I am who I am and that's enough. That's why that's so powerful, right? And again, there's a lot of power there. And sometimes that's enough almost seems like a limitation, but not really, because all there is enough. You're everything. It's enough because you are all that is. That somehow being and having everything is not enough. That's what you're saying, right? You're standing there with the energy that creates worlds flowing through you and as you. And you're saying somehow that's not good enough. All power, all reality, all that is flowing through you and as you. And you're saying, not enough for me. Everything's not enough, right? Remember, there's nothing to do. There's nothing to change. There's nothing to fix, improve out there. Because there's no out there. We've talked about that. It's not your attention or awareness of your desire or on your desire. What you want, that's the problem. Even Neville Goddard says, think from versus think of. But even then, remember, your source. So you can think about any way you want to think about it. But think about it as being the source of it, knowing that it's within you. It's your attention on the absence of it or the non-fulfillment. That's why Neville says that. Because when you think from it, you're not thinking of the absence of it. When you're thinking of it, you're thinking of non-fulfillment in the absence of it. That's why he says that, but you're a source. So again, there's nothing to do or change or fix or improve out there. There's no out there. But it's not your attention awareness of your desire or what you want. That's, quote, the problem. There are no problems, but we believe that there are, and we create those. It's your attention on the absence of it, the non-fulfillment. That's why you're thinking of the desire or of the absence of it versus from the fulfillment of it, right? That's what we're talking about here. So it's only your wanting and waiting, needing reality and what is to be different than what it is why it isn't. Wow, hear this. It's your perpetual focus on that absence of what you want, on something that needs to change or something that's not right. That waiting and wanting, needing reality or what is to be different than it is why it isn't. But when you surrender and let go of that idea and know that it's changing into what you want in every moment, then it must be, because your reality, it's always changing into what you want and desire. But you keep being aware, and remember, you are awareness, that's the only reality, your imagination, your awareness, that it's not here, that I am not it. I am not fulfilled. That keeps you from perceiving that you are it. It's done and it's yours. Right? Instead, do this instead. See all appearances, see all conditions, see all thoughts, all feelings, all events, all changing appearances as evidence and proof that you're already that which you desire to be, and you already have that which you want to have, no matter what or how contrary the inner and outer conditions appear to be. Right? And then even when they're contrary and you believe they're really contrary, that becomes more proof and evidence of who you are no longer. Right? I am not those contrary conditions. That's proof that I'm not. Right? You're not. Everything becomes proof and evidence of your desired reality now. This means nothing can show up, whether you judge it as favorable or not. It is all proof of your new identity. It's all proof of who you are. Wow, that's powerful. Do you see it? See these even as more proof, those contrary conditions and evidence, that you are no longer that identity or reality that identifies with those contrary conditions. That's power, right? Let go of non-fulfillment and shift to your dream reality now. I am your host, Tom Kearin, and this is the Be Something Wonderful studio of higher consciousness, where we help you level up and become the best version of yourself. Creatives, thank you. Thank you for being with me. Thank you for liking and sharing and commenting on our videos. Thank you for being part of our Facebook group, the Be Something Wonderful Ambassadors, at facebook.com/groups, that's plural, /groups at Be Something Wonderful. And thank you for being part of our Instagram and Twitter at Tom Kearin, our TikTok at Be Something Wonderful. We also have a Facebook organization page at Be Something Wonderful. So you can find us everywhere at either at Be Something Wonderful or at Tom Kearin. We're there. Also, thank you for being part of our membership channel. We had just a really powerful live stream at the end of last month, January, or this month. On the 28th, I think we're still in this month. On the 28th, we had a big, just a few days ago, we had a big live stream. Our first live stream of 2024 on the Be Something Wonderful membership channel. We also released a new video on the membership channel. So 2 new videos, one of the live stream and one of a lesson and we have more coming. So creators, if you're interested, if you've joined us, thank you for joining. If you're interested, there's a link below. Creators, with great love, with great light, and infinite gratitude, this is Tom Kearin with the Be Something Wonderful studios of higher consciousness, where we help you level up and become the best version of you. Guys, remember, this is one and done. This is how unedited videos look like. I wanted to remind you, we will be releasing edited versions of older videos. Those are not replacing our daily content. So don't worry about, oh no, I don't like this format. This format that we're doing every day is going to continue, but they're also going to be new re-releases of older videos with a lot of low views that are just not out there. Enjoy those. They're powerful. Until next time, creators, with great love, with great light and infinite gratitude, we'll see you soon.